Hello everyone, a warm welcome to the Scandinavian Female Empowerment Summit. Jannik and I are so happy that you are joining us and that you are taking time out of your schedule to give yourself the gift of letting yourself learn and be inspired by these amazing female Scandinavian teachers who will all share their own journeys and provide us with tools on how to manifest our deepest dreams and desires within feminine power and through the heart. Today our focus on the interviews is the body, and with me today from Denmark I have Sara Torvallbach. Sara used to work as a financial consultant, but for different reasons she shifted and created the No Stress Academy, and she also worked with different programs as I Am a Woman, My Body is My Boss, which now will have a new name called Healthy Magic and will be about seeing and treat our body as a temple. And then she is doing cacao ceremony. And I would like to say welcome, Sara.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this special summit. Such an honor.
Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I am very well. I'm in my third trimester as a pregnant woman. So that itself is a little funny to sit here and have an interview about the body, because I am more grounded in my body now than I have ever been.
And that it is your first child?
Yes, first child, and it's a little baby girl, and my body is completely transformed to be a house for this baby girl. That's an interesting process.
It is. And congratulations with your child.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. As I just mentioned, we are in the body section today, and I am knowing that it's quite difficult to separate the mind, body, and soul. But we will try to focus on the body part. But before start talking about your different programs, I would like to invite you to share your own story.
Yes. So, my own body story, if that is the one we are to tune into, is actually quite interesting. Because I was born in Denmark as this little baby girl, only weighing 2 kilos, not more, and that's very small. So even though I was born at the time I was actually supposed to, I only weighed like 2 kilos. So my mom had to keep me at the hospital for me to gain a little more weight, and then I came home and I was not able to get all the nourishment from her milk as I was supposed to. So my start in life was a little rough with being too small and not getting enough nutrition and nourishment. And all the teachers, all the midwives, all the hospital people told my mom that she was to give me like a special, like milk formula that was not her own, as it could not provide me with the right things. And she just knew in her woman intuition that it was something else I needed. So she tried what all those experts said for a little while, and then she went the opposite direction and gave me something I was first supposed to have when I was a little older. And from that moment, I stopped crying, I started being happy, I started gaining weight, and my body transformed into like a baby instead of this little tiny skeleton of a baby. So that itself I find very, very, very interesting, that was the start of my body journey, as that exact navigation my mom did when I was such a little baby is the whole point of the preaching and the teaching within the Healthy Magic subject. And of course, my body story throughout my life have been So interesting. As I never really learned throughout my school and my teenage years to have respect for my body. I really did not learn that. I learned to have respect for my mind and my intelligence and, you know, the subjects I were to learn in school, and my willpower and my ability to just get up and go to work and do your things, act, you know, the power of acting, action. But I never learned anything about respect for my body and its needs. And that actually came back to me when I was working in finance. I was in my start 20s, and all of a sudden I crashed completely with stress. Completely. Like 8 months out of this world, losing so much of my hair, losing my ability to speak and understand all the languages like German and English. That was not my mother language. My memory was completely shut down. I had to learn how to read again from level 7, from grade 7. And that for me was a massive wake-up call. And I understood something very important there, and that was, okay, so there's two brains of memories inside of my temple. There is my brain, that has a memory, and that is right now not working in that stress crash. And then my body had a brain and a memory also. The memory of how you open a door, for example, where you don't have to think about how you do it, it's just a memory being installed in your body in a way. The same when we do yoga or a spinning class or some kind of exercise where the first 2 times maybe it's kind of difficult because your body do not know what it's doing. And after that, your body has a memory of those ways of moving, and it makes it easier. Even though you have not built up the strength yet, the memory of how you do it will get you so far. And my whole teenage years was so much about listening to all others' instructions than my own. I remember I had so many pimples in my face because my whole diet back then was cheese and milk and yogurt and all dairy, not knowing anything about how that affects. So the doctor gave me birth control pills, even though I was not sexually active yet or anything, but just to control my hormones. And of course that worked. But today, like, what a shame to give such a young girl that did not need any interference with her hormones something as strong as birth control pills, when it was just, for me, dairy that did not work with my body. You know, like stuff like that. So that's really my body story.
And I guess that a lot of women will recognize this, maybe giving birth control pills to prevent, acne and whatever. And it's actually not very respectful to our body, but I also do recognize that it's somehow we don't learn that in school. As you just mentioned, we learn a lot of other things, but not to take care of our body. And I guess that's a part of why we are losing contact to our intuition, because I think our body has the answers, and with that, the intuition as well. Yeah.
Sure, I so agree with that. Yeah.
But when having this stress breakdown, could there be just a small, tiny voice inside you, maybe your intuition, knowing that you have to change your life?
Yes, definitely. For me, that stress crash was my completely dark night of the soul. So today I'm much more spiritual. I'm out of the spiritual closet and all of that, which I were when I was a little girl. I was totally spiritual. I had the Vilva understanding, the Scandinavian understanding, which was called Vilva, which is the shamanic language of who we as women have been here, with the knowledge of nature, with the knowledge of communication without words, and all of that, herbs as medicines, intuitions, and stuff like that. And that complete crash made me question everything I had ever learned, everything I had ever been taught, because I was actually quite angry when I crashed with stress, because there I was. I had been in school my whole life, entire life, and I had done everything that all the teachers had said to me. I was healthy, I was in the gym all the time, I was working, I was doing everything that they taught me. And then they did not teach me such an important detail as knowing your body's limitation and understanding, your body will give you instructions, it will speak to you. If you have a headache, you don't just kill it with painkillers. No, you try to understand there's a reason by it. If you suddenly stop being able to sleep, it's not because you are like a night owl all of a sudden. No, there's a reason for that. You cannot just sleep when you get old. All of that stuff that people had taught me. So at that point, I really did something very, very, very important for my journey ahead, for my whole future, it turned out. And that was, I silenced all the voices from outside, and suddenly I could hear my own. For the first time since I was little. And that inner voice just knew, I am not happy. This cannot be the point of my life. I am not supposed to feel this way and look this way and have my body react this way. And if this is the award of doing things in a normal, approved way in this modern society, then I will have to find some alternative to make myself the feeling of a success, whatever that is. Because it was certainly not that, even though on paper I had managed all those goals before time, it was certainly not that.
And I guess that turning down the voice from outside and start listening to the voice from inside, was a kind of beginning what now will be your new program, Healthy Magic, because I guess listening to this will create magic. And as I said in the beginning, this program is about seeing and treat our own body as a temple. And I might have forgot also listen to our body. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about this, because I love when we treat our own body as a temple, because I think we are. So please tell me a bit more.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you. So to be fully honest with you, I'm not that interested in the body in the way that many are. I actually do not find like body talks about what to eat and when and how to exercise and when and all of those like normal body subjects. My soul is not in passion when talking about that. Of course, there are things that are very good to know. For example, so if you have something with your skin, milk and dairy is the first thing to take a look at, because very often when we skip it, our skin clears and our whole balance in our nose and in our fluids and the whole body will come back to its beauty again. So, of course, there are things that are very important to know. But my interest when it comes to the body is so much about the soul and the spiritual journey and the purpose of us being here and the energy we have and the way we feel as women that makes us either be able to step up and show up and speak up and be seen with the divine truth we have to speak and share, whether it's in our family and just show up as the best mom in the world for our children, or it's out on the stage and speaking something important to a crowd of people that needs to hear you. That part where we are so in tune with our body and we understand that it is our vessel. It is the vessel for our soul. It is our temple. It is our house. It is the room we are living in. So if we do not treat it with honor and respect and understand the language it tries to speak up, like so we can cooperate, then we will have such a difficulty with showing up on the sole purpose as women too. Because I don't know how you feel about this, but I know with myself that when I do not have energy, and when I have eaten stuff that are not good for me, so I just feel heavy and I feel a little too heavy, and my pants doesn't fit that well, and all of that. I tend to get very apologetic about why I should not step out and say these things, why I should not show up for that thing and that thing and that thing. So it makes my human do a little noise that makes the soul very, very, very difficult to respect and merge the human with and go the soul path. And that's really my whole, like above all, teaching and message within this body subject. It is, I see it as we have this divine soul that chose to fly down in this angelic uniform of a body. And in that body, we have the human that has the ego, that has been through the pains, that has the longings, that has this need of safety and security, the basic needs of being in a body. And then we have the soul that knows the way, that knows the inner voice of instruction, that has a clear purpose being here and has a service, divine service, to show up to and step into. And for those two to merge, the human and the soul, is the most important thing in the world, because then we align. So we show up as our divine, if you can say, in a way, yeah? And the shortcut to doing that, in my deepest resonance and my deepest inner truth, and you of course feel how this feels for you, but it is actually to juice your body up, to juice up and show up for that body of yours. And that is both, of course, with food that heals you and heightens your vibration. So it doesn't feed the sickness in you, but it feeds the health. And it gives you energy. And to move your body, and to move your body is, for me, not about losing weight or about being fit or having abs and stuff like that. It's about creating movement. And when we create movement, we tap into the spiritual energy of fire energy. Fire energy is the same as passion energy, and that is the same as action energy. And that is what our human part of us is, such an amazing helping angel for our soul. That is the part of us that are able to walk the path and take actions. So we will either have a wind with us to do that, or we will have a wind against us, and we will just feel much more comfortable and better if we lay on the couch. And we become like a couch potato. I think we have all been there. And then it's such a difficult journey for our soul to come in and actually step up, speak up, going the path and all of that.
It does really make sense, and I think you are explaining it in a very beautiful way, and it's really resonate in me. What I also realize is that despite I am aware of what you are saying and have this knowledge, I still think that sometimes it's difficult to understand what my body is telling me, or at least I don't want to understand it. So, so how did you start training the language of your body?
Yes, good question. And I totally understand you in that completely. So for me, it is all about the word embodiment. And what I'm going to talk about now is not only in the body subject, but I believe this to be the key within everything, to be honest, especially in this amazing new paradigm time that we are in right now. That is such an amazing time to be alive. I'm sure many of your soul interviews will go through this, but feel free to ask if you need me to clarify about it. But embodiment for me is the total key of us being able to actually walk the path of what we know, um, despite just knowing but not being able to actually act upon it, you know? And that's why I feel there's such a magical key and lesson within those little failures we have all experienced. So, for example, me just reading a book about what stress is and why it's a very good idea not to exhaust yourself and to reach the point of a stress crash. That would make me know something in my head and, of course, understand something because that makes complete sense. But having no awareness of it in my body because I have never tried it, so my body has no idea what it actually is. Whereas when I have tried it, when I know in my body, in all my cells, in that body memory, what that is, then I am very determined, like by natural energy, not to go that way again. And I will have those little warning clocks, warning bells, being like ding ding ding, you're off road, beep 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 beep, back on track. Whenever I go too far out in these contrasts, but that warning bell, for me at least, comes with my soul's and humans' a willingness to make those little mistakes and go totally out in these contrasts and be like, ouch, that hurt. And then it was an embodied wisdom all of a sudden.
And will this work with the opposite way? So if we used to treat our body very well with good nutrition and 8-10 hours sleep and yoga and whatever we can do to treat our own body, will this also develop our body language so the bell will start ringing if we are not doing this? So it's not just the bad habits or the bad experiments, but also the good one.
Yes, for sure, definitely. And we know that if we are in doubt about this, then we can just try to do, like, for example, a coffee detox or a sugar detox. So when we don't have these two, especially coffee and sugar, in our system for a long time, and we just get it one time, then we will have a talking body. If we take that cup of strong black coffee and we haven't had it in our system for a long time, then we can feel it in the solar plexus area. We can feel the adrenaline, we can feel the pulse, we can feel like a restless, there's something happening in the system. Caffeine is totally kicking in. And so we feel that much stronger than when we just drink coffee every day. That makes our adrenaline kind of fatigue, so we just like kind of rely on it, but don't really feel that effect as what it actually does, as we do when we have not had it for a long period. The same with sugar. Like every time I've had like a massive sugar detox and I then all of a sudden eat like a beautiful sugar cake or a big bowl of candy, I will get such a headache. Oh my God. And the next day I will be like totally hangovered. Will really be able to feel it in my energy. I can even see it in my face. Just like, whoa, my body is using every energy cell on just understanding what this was and how to get rid of it. So definitely.
Yeah.
Was that answer to your question?
Yeah, exactly. And I do recognize the feeling of not wanting to speak my truth, to go on stage when not feeling comfortable in myself. So I think it really makes sense what you are saying. Working with this program, Healthy Magic, in my opinion, it's also sounds like very familiar to the other program you have, I Am a Woman, which is about embracing ourselves as a woman. But maybe you could say a little bit about that program as well.
Yeah, exactly. So everything I touch, and it doesn't matter what programs or courses it is, like it's all the same. I'm actually touching in a way. It's the same my soul want to speak to, and that is that realignment of women. That I am woman feeling, where we in this modern head-ruled, ambitious, everything is either black or white, planning kind of modern world, come back to this wisdom of being a woman that understands the flow of balance, energy, and cycles. For us as women, like many people have felt this for their whole life, but never really been able to put a finger on what is this, but something feels off. It's like the way we have this world right now, where it's all linear, it's all focus, it's all one straight path to something ambitious. Get up every day the same time, come back home the same time, do it no matter what seasons, no matter what day of the month, you show up. Boom. That is so off for our women nature. Because the women nature is totally like the nature. We are more in sync with the environment and the planet that we are just an animal on like everybody else. The full moon, the waters, the seasons, the dark, the light. And if we forget that, then we just look at our women's cycle throughout the month. So we will naturally have a shifting appetite depending on how close we are to our periods, our moon. It's called in the spiritual world in Bali, where I use so much time. We will have a shifting appetite, we will have a shifting energy. So we will be social some days, we will be introverted other days, if we follow our inner system, our inner guidance. And I see it very much as waves, that when we follow that internal woman flow, we are soft yet strong as waves. That means we come in with a lot of energy and a lot of fire and a lot of force actually, but not struggling force, just natural force. And then we withdraw very slowly and beautifully. That's the balance. And that is the wisdom of us women, that we have just completely shut down, of many of us in this modern world, because that wasn't approved. Because how would that look like? That would look like a work day of flow. That means some days working from back home, other days working at a social office, some days showing up for work very early, very energized, other days showing up more limited, maybe more like couch working, maybe a little in the evening, boom, boom, boom. Like how would that look like?
To me, it seems like you managed to follow your natural flow in a very masculine way. I guess it it takes courage to do that. How do you manage? Do we have to be entrepreneurs having our own company, or will we be able to do that in a normal job, working eight to 4?
Yeah, good question. So to answer your last question first, one of my very good friends is a science of the future. And what she deeply speaks about now and deeply believes in is that the future is feminine and the future is spiritual, which completely matches this new energy wave of the new paradigm, where we as a collective human race are beginning to value the soft energies, the soft values much more. So it's back to nature, it is love, it is trust, it is caretaking, like taking care of the environment, the animals, us, all of us together, more than it's the ambitious ego, I only take care of myself, money above all, blah, 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 society we have been living in until now. And we can see that because so many people now, by inner instructions, are asking questions about why we actually eat meat all of a sudden. And many of us that are eating meat are really, really, really feeling an inner need for not doing so. And are in the transition of finding out, okay, but how will I then, because I kind of like meat, but I don't like to eat meat. Okay, how do I do this? So we start asking questions now, because we tap into different energies that are much more natural for ourselves now. So I deeply believe, totally backed up by my friend that is the science of the future, that the future will be spiritual. That means the future will provide us with work where this flow of balance, individual balance, are taken deeply care of. And we will see if the work environment in the future will be as the work environment we know now, or if technology will take away much of the work we know now. So the new kind of work will be totally different. We have no knowing of knowing that. We just know that the new paradigm has entered. So the stronger energies that always wins are those energies of the soft, of the pure, of the loving, of the good, pure intentions, of the taking care of everything and everyone, the greater good for all. That is the energies where the wind is with us now. So whatever was built in that old energy that is not aligned with this will fall apart now. And that's why we see now that many of us, especially women, that are hanging in a thread, that I will with most respect call it that, hanging in a thread, in the old way of work environment. Completely also with the respect that some of us has just nailed a work situation we deeply love and deeply thrive in. But let's just be completely honest, that is the few. It is really the few. Most women are struggling with having the family balance together, having the work balance together, having their own body balance together, having the social life balance together. It's a mess. So actually right now, I consider it a massive health sign if we as women now, being out there in the modern work life, are not thriving right now. If we right now are stressed, maybe even kind of depressed, really feeling totally unconnected to ourselves and our heart and our soul, and just not happy and asking a lot of questions inside of ourselves, in all the pains we're feeling and all of the longings of how it could be instead, that is such a health sign. Because it's just showing that you are in tune, you are merged with this new energy coming in. And it is a matter of time before that navigation will navigate into another way of living. In respect for the body, in respect for the female flow, in respect for the greater good of all. And how that will be, we have no way of figuring out. The humans so want to have the brain to see that plan. Oh, what is the next step? And that's where it's so divinely perfect and totally scary, but so crucial that we dare to lean upon the knowledge of our soul and just surrender. So to answer your question about how I do this, I am a human also. I also totally make mistakes. I get off-road sometimes. But my warning signal, my warning bell is very loud when I do. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, realign. And what I so love, and maybe the ones of you that have followed me on Instagram and Facebook, you have totally seen this, I'm sure. Because the Bali community I tuned into 4 years ago, where I started living there most of my time, has been new paradigm way of living before this modern world. So, and that was so much merged with the old rituals of how we used to live back then. So the rituals of plant medicine, of circles as coming together with medicine of music, medicine of cacao, medicine of energies, medicine of inner knowing and healing of heart. Mm. So my absolute must, my non-negotiable thing I show up to for myself, to juice up, to realign and come back to that merge between human and soul when I drift off in this modern world and just become human and react and take shitty decisions from that, is these cacao ceremonies. Because the cacao ceremonies will make you feel how your heart is feeling. That means it will make you connect back to the truest part of yourself, where those little lies cannot exist. And when you feel those layers, you heal those layers and you go deeper and deeper and deeper in your heart. And the whole, in my deep resonance and my deep belief, the whole reason why we in this modern society is able to drift so much off track that we completely ruin our body, our family, our inner flow, our happiness, everything. It is only because of one thing, and that is our ability to disconnect from ourselves, how we are actually feeling. So when we connect with a tool like this, where we once a week or once a month or whenever we feel like showing up for this, are sitting there with medicine music that makes us feel, with the medicine of cacao, raw cacao from Peru, that will make us feel that heart of ours, in a circle of women or men, and everything in it is aligned for you to just sit there with closed eyes and feel how you're feeling. You will connect. Mm. And that makes it very difficult to stay on that track of being off-road of who you actually are and what you're here to do, and just stay miserable. That's very difficult when we connect and feel, oh, where am I and how am I?
I'm a little bit curious about, now you just described the cacao ceremony, but what is it with this cacao? Why are you using that and not, some kind of fruits? What is it?
Good question, and I think so many people are asking that question, especially in this modern world of the North, where we have not been raised with this. We have not been raised with the medicine of plants. We have been raised with the medicine of the doctors and the medical world. We have not been raised with the honor and respect and the wisdom of gatherings and nature and the human heart and the feeling and being. We have been raised with this box head ruled society of just science. Like even the churches here in Denmark are being sold to private events because our churches are empty. And it doesn't matter what we believe in, but the point is, this is a country of non-belief. Non-belief. way back, of course, there was a belief of some sort. This is a Christian society back in the days. But in the whole time I have been alive, this has been a world of science. And wherever I have lived in this country, whoever believed in something, whether it was spiritual or religion, was called freaks.
That's true.
So I just have this massive respect that when I bring in this plant medicine that is so ancient, that are so sacred, that so many tribes and places throughout the whole world in the same timeline as us, the same planet, the same timeline, are swearing at, are loving. I just have so much respect that we have no foundation of understanding what it is yet here. And that's one of my big hopes and purposes, I feel, and just the mission of my heart is to bring that teaching back here, to understand the power of it. And to answer your question about what cacao is, so there is such a big difference about different ceremonies. No ceremony is the same. So you can be invited to 100 different cacao ceremonies by 100 different space holders, and they will not be anything similar to each other at all. The ones I do, I will talk into that so you understand the elements of it. And to be fully honest with you, you can show up for the cacao ceremonies without even drinking a drop of cacao, and you will still tap into that energy of love and in-tunedness of yourself and feeling, because the whole energy of the room is supportive for that. So it's all amplifying each other. So there's only music we can feel. And the music that can be felt is from the shamanic world. That means the shamanic deep intelligence of the drumming beat. Drumming beat is 4 hertz frequency of music, and it makes us journey in a way. It makes us space out in a way. It's very difficult to sit and think of like, oh, what to shop in the grocery shop, and did I remember to set my parking license and all of that, when you have that kind of music, because it does something to your soul. It's the intelligence of the old shamanic remembrance that was called vulva in the north, women shamans. That was deeply respected back in the days before religion. It was such a high respected intelligence to have that it was just underneath the king in the social authority. And then a religion came, and witches, the name witches came, and the rest is history. We know this, that's a point. Our ancestors here in the north, we have this deep remembrance of the medicine of nature and all of that, plants and so on. So the music itself can be felt. And it's shamanic music and it's angelic music. It's a mix between these two. So it's earth and fire element, movement, where you feel like, oh, something's got to shift. I want to let go of something. And then it's the very angelic tones of beauty and pureness and deep feeling heart, of releasing and surrendering and forgiving, you know? Those are the music elements. And then it's amplified by sitting in a circle with people with closed eyes. It's you and your soul only, but everyone is showing up in energy for themselves and each other. Because you're sitting there just next to, holding the space. And what the medicine of cacao does, the medicine of cacao, I love it. It has completely changed my life. It's actually very scientific, and I love that about it, because this is the north. This is Denmark, Sweden, Norway. And let's be honest, we would like to understand things with our head. It makes us safe. And what it is with cacao is, cacao in its raw, organic, pure form, medicine cacao, makes such a big flow of blood in our system that if you drink it on a completely empty belly, that means you haven't been eating anything for at least 3 or 4 hours. The best thing is to do it in the morning, so you have fasted all night. Then you will get an increase in blood to your heart and your brain between 30 and 60%, depending on how sensitive your system is. The effect that creates is that you will feel your heart. It's very much like the state when you wake up in the morning. Not how your mood is in the morning, that can be different, but the state of being you are in when you wake up. It's kind of like it's more easy to be inside of yourself than to be outside of yourself and be social and link into the brain, all that. You're kind of in this space where you are awake, but you're very much in like a bubble in yourself. Everything is slow. You can feel how it is. It's soft. It's kind of like that feeling and energy you tap into with cacao. And there you just sit and feel that heart of yours. And what is so amazing is that I have actually had some of my finance pals, and I said pals because this is men, friends from my finance world back when I worked at the bank. I have had some of them come to cacao ceremonies, being completely non-believers, like non-spiritual, being like, what is this cacao crap? And seriously, 5 minutes into this, they just pour tears and get into contact with this beautiful heart of theirs. So that's the thing I love so much about the power of cacao. It does not matter if you believe it or not. It will make you feel, and that will make you heal it, you know? And it's only that next layer in your heart, your job is to sit there and focus upon. And when you do that enough, like I have been doing for at least 4 years now, in many periods every week, then it doesn't matter how far you drift off and go totally only in your human and your soul is just hanging behind being like, beep, beep, we're off road, please listen to me. You right there reconnect, realign, and feel. And it makes it so difficult to go back out there in the world and just be totally off tune with who you are and where you're supposed to be. And then you heal and feel all of those layers that makes your heart be so deep and so loving and so compassionate and understanding both towards yourself and others. And the whole purpose of this cacao, for me to work with it as a medicine woman, is to create the remembrance of all the women that comes, of the mama energy, that is our divine magical energy to tap into as women, that are so powerful it will melt away any harshness around us when we tap into it. And I deeply believe, and now this might sound very holy, but you can feel me on this because I so believe this, that whatever we have going on in the world of unbalancedness comes from the lack of mama energy. Because everyone had a mama, and she either showed up in the most loving, compassionate mama energy of pure loving teachings and very clear integrity frames, or she did not. Every woman is a goddess and is a queen, and she can tap into the mama energy, where just the touch, where just the voice, where just the look is like spells. And this totally links into something Dalai Lama said at the peace conference. And I think, do not be mad at me if I don't remember the exact year, but I think it was back in 2009. He said that he believed that the future would be saved by Western women, being modern women that was able to actually walk the path of the modern world and speak a language that can be heard, but doing it from the woman place of soft heart, pureness, remembrance of true values, and all of that. And that's what all the body work, the cacao, and the I Am Woman is actually about.
Some part of me would love to say amen, because I think it was so beautiful described, and it really resonated inside me. And I would love to ask you to share a few steps, but actually I think you just did. I mean, we are not all available or have the capacity to move to Bali, but I guess we will all have the possibility to start treating ourselves as a divine goddess, start treating our body as a temple, and we might start using cacao as well. For instance, in the morning, I know a few women who do that, and it's really inspired me to start doing that as well. Sara, I think this was such a nice talk. It was so inspiring, and I'm so grateful that you took the time to speak about this. I really feel that it's very important for you to share this message. I can feel you sitting here in in my living room. I really want to say thank you. I wish we have even more time, but we will make another one. So thank you,
Thanks
Sara.
so
Really,
much.
thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you so much for inviting me. I have such a deep respect for the invited word in this whole society of so much noise, so many words, so much media. The invited word are never to underestimate. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And I also would like to mention to those who are listening that remember, you have access to the videos of today for 24 hours. And if you don't have the time to see or listen to all the materials, or want to listen to it once again, you can have access for 6 months. For more information about that, take a look at our website. And for now, I just want to say thank you to Sara once again, and thank you for listening. Take care, and remember to shine your inner light. Goodbye.